Hey Tech fam, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. And I've been daily driving the Galaxy Z Fold 7 for a week. And I really wanted to love this phone. Like, I unboxed this phone, picking it up and using it and bringing it to work and having everyone react to how incredible Samsung engineering is on this phone. It's just simply amazing. Like, I really want to love this phone. But there are some things that Samsung did that with this phone, I can't forgive them. Even though this phone is so great looking, I can't forgive them on this phone. So, without ado guys, here is the Galaxy Z Fold 7 review. Alright guys, let's kick things off with the design. Now, this is one of Samsung's teasers for the event, and that was the design of the Fold 7. And picking this up out of my pocket to my hand just blows me away every single time. Like, this almost feels like nothing. When I put it in my pocket, it literally feels like there's nothing in my pocket. That is almost scary to me. When I take it out, put it in my hand, it feels lightweight. Like, when I have it folded in my hand, it's basically, it feels very extremely light. But when you unfold it, it feels like there's nothing at all. Like, I could picture you guys, you can game on this all day, you can watch YouTube videos all day. It won't feel like it's heavy. Like, it won't feel like that fatigue where you're having this in your hand and then your hand starts to die off. This phone is extremely light. In case you guys want to know how much it weighs, it's 215 grams. That is extremely light. But wait, there's more. Not only that it's light, it's also extremely thin. Now, when you have it unfolded, this phone just feels like, for example, this phone is 8.9 millimeters thin when folded. That is almost, that is just almost the thinness of my daily driver, my Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now, yes, there were, like, it is almost that thick of a phone. Like, if they could shave off one extra millimeter, that would make it very thin. But yeah, this phone folded, it is thin. But again, when you unfold it, again, Samsung teased many things about it. Look at the design of this. Look how thin that is. That is crazy. For a foldable, that is crazy. That is insane. Bravo, Samsung. Bravo for making this phone very lightweight and thin. Like, again, it's when I picked this up out of the box, set everything up, put it in my pocket, took it to work, let my coworkers get a feel of it. They all agree this phone is crazy light and thin. Crazy light. And also, in case you guys are wondering too, is this still water and dust resistant as last year's? Yes, it is. The exact same rating, the exact same depth, the exact same time. Nothing has changed on that. So, you can take this light, thin foldable to a pool that's saltwater free, take it to your shower. You could take it, take it to a shower. If it's raining outside, don't have to worry. Again, the design of this phone is simply awesome. Crazy light, crazy thin. Right, I think that covers everything for... Well, no, I forgot. In case you guys want to know more about the design too, same materials as last year. We still got the same armor aluminum build for the hinge as well as for the frame. But this time on the front protecting the glass, there's me right there. On the front protecting the glass, it's Corning Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2, which is their toughest glass yet. On the back, it's according to Gorilla Glass Victus 2. So Victus 2 on the back, Ceramic 2 on the front. But yeah, so that covers all for the design. Let's get over to the display. Alright guys, let's start off next with the displays. And this is again another key point where Samsung teased about the Fold 7. Not just the design, but also for the display. And Samsung upped the level with this. Now, the displays are dramatically changed and way usable compared to every single year. And that is, on the front screen, the cover screen, you get a 6.5 inch display to work with. That is 0.2 inches wider than the Z Fold 6 from last year. And when you unfold it, you get an immersive and big 8-inch screen. That is simply a game changer. I kid you guys not. It's the exact same refresh rate as last year, 120 Hz, the exact same brightness as last year at 2600 nits, so you guys can see it well in the sun, especially when summer is coming to an end. But still, when the sun's out there, you can see your cover screen and your inner screen just as well. And yes, you guys, this is no Photoshop, this isn't a render, but yes, there is a cutout on the inner screen as well. And I know you guys are gonna ask me this: what happened? In case you guys knew this from last year, but what happened to Samsung with it being uninterrupted in full screen experience? And well, there's a good reason for that. We'll get to that in the next category. But the biggest question is, with this cutout, does it take anything away from the viewing experience? It's not fully interrupted. It's partially because of that camera cutout. And the answer is no. This doesn't bother me at all. You know, if you can get used to one camera cutout on your cover screen, you can get used to a camera cutout on your inner screen. Again, it's very, very minimal. Again, doesn't bother me at all. You'll get used to it. But that's just my opinion. So, there is a camera cutout on the inner screen. We'll get to more of that in a second. But again, these screens are just bright and beautiful and vibrant. And they're big. Again, massive improvements on display end from Samsung. Once again, guys, huge congratulations to Samsung on that. But that's all for displays. Let's get on to the cameras. Alright guys, let's go to the cameras. And believe it or not, this is another thing that Samsung improved on with the Fold 7. And that is, they changed 2 of the camera sensors this year. Now, last year on the Z Fold 6, you had a 50 megapixel main sensor, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 10 megapixel 3x zoom lens. Samsung changed 2 things this year. One is the main sensor. It is now 150 megapixels more than last year. So again, it's 50 from last year to 200 megapixels this year, which is on par with the Galaxy S25 Edge and the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So now you have 200 megapixels, which is ultra high resolution. I took lots of photos and videos with this, as much as I can for a week. But that's not all. When you unfold to the inner screen, the camera cutout is 10 megapixels. That is right, 10 megapixels. It's the exact same resolution as is on the cover screen, which means you guys can get nice vibrant selfies that are usable. And I could say this year, Samsung has upgraded from a webcam to an actually usable camera this time. So don't be afraid, guys, to take photos and videos on the inner screen, because trust me, they're going to look just as good on the inner screen and on the cover screen as well. So go take a look at these photos and videos from yourself, and I'll be right back to talk about the other categories I have for this review. So I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, this is me. I'm recording on my cover screen camera on my Galaxy Fold 6. Let me know guys how it looks. It's early in the morning, it's almost 7 o'clock. Street's a little busy here, but yeah, there you go. Galaxy Z Fold 7 front facing camera, the cover screen. Let me know guys how it looks with that sun shining in the back. Let me know guys what you guys think of that. You know, another shot right there. Alright. Alright, this is on the inner screen camera of the Fold 7. This is much better than last year. Last year was a webcam. This graduates from a webcam to usable status right here. I'm talking to you guys, I'm walking. But yeah, this is actually pretty usable right here. It's much more clear, much more seeable. Overall, this is a beautiful, beautiful addition to one of the cameras as well. Let me take you to the rear cameras. Okay, so this is the ultra wide camera on the Galaxy Fold 6. Let me know guys how it looks here. I know it's beautiful guys, it's hot. But overall, let me know guys what you think on that. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it over to the main camera. Alright guys, this is what's like recording on the main camera on the Galaxy Fold 7. It is 200 megapixels this time, so you get more detailed shots. Let me know guys what you think in the comment section down below of the sky, the grass and everything, me in the shot. Let me know guys what you think in the comment section down below. Just walking home from work. Let me know guys what you think. Alright guys, so now we talked about the big 3 things that Samsung has done with the improvements on the Z Fold 7. Unfortunately, with these other categories is where things start to get stale and somewhere take a little bit of a downhill slope. But let's start off with the storage. It's unchanged from last year. You still get 3 storage options at 256, 512, and a terabyte. And in case you guys are wondering what storage is best for you, if you're a person that does mostly web watching, like you watch videos, you better take any photos, 256 should be fine for you. However, if you do take a lot of photos and videos, then you guys are going to want to go with 512 gigabytes. But if you're a massive 4K, 8K video recorder, you do a lot of editing, you're a content creator, and you just need the most storage as possible to act like it's a computer or like a portable foldable monitor in your pocket, then you have 1 terabyte. So again, same 3 storage options across the board. Nothing has changed with that. But let's get on to the battery. Alright, next up is the battery, and just like the storage, shocker, nothing has changed. Yes, for how surprisingly thin this foldable is, the battery is still unchanged at 4,400 milliamp hours. That is a shocker because when the Z Fold 3 came out, that is when Samsung had a 4,400 milliamp hour battery. This year, it's been kept the same, as well as the same charging speeds at 25 watts, and just like just like last year and the year before, so does the ways how to charge up your phone too. You could charge up with a USB-C cable up to 25 watts. You could charge on a wireless charger that's supported up to 15 watts. And of course, if your friend's iPhone or Galaxy or any other phone that supports wireless charging, as well as their earbuds or their watch, little quick note: Galaxy Watch 7 and above, and the Ultra and above, don't support wireless charging. Just want to get that out there. But any other watches below that, or any earbuds, or again any other phones that support wireless charging, let's say you want to top your friend's iPhone and they're very low for some reason. Well, we could be a gentleman, flip your Fold 7 down, turn on wireless power share, and you can share power from your Fold 7 to the person's newest iPhone. So, there you go. Same 3 ways how to charge up your phone and other people's devices. And yeah, nothing has changed on there. Alright guys, let's go to our next category, which are special features. And this is where I didn't expect for Samsung to do this at all. This is where things start to take a deep dive for the worse for me. And that is the fact that Samsung has completely removed S Pen support from the Z Fold 7. I did not expect for them to do this. I have been an avid S Pen user since the Galaxy S21 Ultra. I used it to take down notes. When I go to church, I write down sermon notes. If at work, I write down SKU numbers and barcode labels and all that stuff. Heck, sometimes I even doodle and celebrate different anniversaries here and there, and different ideas and draw. But the fact that Samsung has removed S Pen support from the Z Fold 7, in my opinion, makes this phone unusable to me. I use the S Pen every single day. It's the reason why I got the S25 Ultra, because it has it embedded in it. Like, there's a place where I could store it. And I would have been completely fine. I would bit my tongue if Samsung were, to keep S Pen support in this thin profile. I would have considered it at least. But when I read the news that Samsung killed off S Pen support, I was in shock. And I was just out of words. Now, I know you guys are going to say, I barely use the S Pen. I just buy the phone the way it is. I don't use the S Pen. I barely use it. There's no place to store it unless you get a third-party case for it. I totally get that. But for me, I use the S Pen. Again, I could preach this all day long. I use the S Pen every single day. I can't go back to something that doesn't have S Pen support unless I completely lose it and just go, forget it. I don't use my stylus anymore. I just want to use my fingers. But I can't do that for me, unfortunately, yet. And this is the reason why the Z Fold 7, for 1 week will not be, well, we'll talk about it later on. I'm getting ahead of myself. But this was a very special feature. The Fold 3, came out with the under display camera. The Fold 3 came out with IPX8 water resistance. The Fold 3 even had stylus support. The first foldable to have stylus support. And that was special. The Fold 6 had stylus support. Yes, it looks a little chunky, but the Fold 6 has stylus support. And I know you're going to say, well, Samsung executives probably were thinking about it, but since how thin it was, they couldn't, figure it out, so they had to rid it. There's no excuse. Again, for someone that uses a stylus every single day, again, I want to love this phone. I really do. I really want to love this phone so much. But all the way up to no having S Pen support, you know, all the way up to having S Pen support made me sad. And therefore, this is why, again, when we get to the end, I'll tell you my conclusion, but not having S Pen support, kind of make this on par with other foldables in the market now. And there's actually another comparison too that came up in my head. Remember, guys, the Xbox One? The Xbox One was a console, but Microsoft at that event treated it as a DVR. It could turn your TV on. It could be used to tune to your channel. You could use it to watch your sports and chat with your friends. Microsoft marketed that console as a DVR first, gaming console second. People were upset about that. But the biggest thing people were upset about was the fact that, number one, you couldn't share games from the Xbox One. So they made an update where you could. But before that update, you couldn't share games from the Xbox One to another in case you were done with that one game. Instead, it was DRM protected. And, there's one famous guy from Microsoft, Don Matrick, you can look him up. But he said, if you want to do all those features, if you wanted to be always online all the time and share your games, there's a console for that. And that's the Xbox 360. Imagine if Samsung were to said that and be like, well, if you want to have a great foldable experience with cameras that are subpar, well, not subpar, the cameras that are pretty okay at best, and if you wanted to have almost the exact same great experience but slightly heavier and chunkier, well, there's the Galaxy Fold 6 that's still out there you could buy. Imagine Samsung said that. Do you know how many Samsung fans would be furious about that? Luckily they didn't, but I just thought that would be a good comparison because this right here is like the Xbox One, and the Fold 6 is like the Xbox 360. Now, again, unlike the Xbox One, they can't just put an update and side ports out there. There's a layer that has to be inside the screen that detects the S Pen, and that's what's needed for the Fold 7 to recognize there's a stylus out there. But again, I started to throw the comparison out there. Again, I'm deeply saddened that they removed it, and there's hoping maybe next year they'll add it back, maybe without becoming a daily driver. But let's just move on to the next category. Alright guys, we're almost done. Second to last, we have the pricing and availability. And if you're planning to pick up the Galaxy Fold 7 right now, well, the good news is you can. It's available online and in stores as of January, as of July 25th. And you can get the Galaxy Z Fold 7 for a starting price of $1,999.99. This is a very expensive foldable. And I'll tell you the ways later on towards the end of the video how you could save on that. And because again guys, you don't want to pay full price for any of Samsung's expensive products. But yeah, $1,999. It is a penny shy of $2,000. This isn't the most expensive Samsung Fold you could buy in the US. That was broken with the Galaxy Z Fold 2 back in 2020. That started off at $1,999. So this ties it with the most expensive Fold you can buy. But And again, depending on what storage size you get, it's gonna double or triple the amount there, plus taxes. But yeah, this is an expensive fold. And again, when I get to my final verdict, I just, you know, I'll talk about everything else, my final opinions. But yeah, this is an expensive fold. And in case you guys wondering what colors it comes in, well, you get 4 different colors to choose from. You have this awesome and amazing blue color, which is called Blue Shadow. You also have Silver Shadow, Jet Black, and if you order from Samsung.com, you get their exclusive mint color. So again, that's 4 color options you could choose from. One you only get if you order on Samsung.com. So that's all for pricing and availability. Let's get on to the final segment. Alright guys, so that is basically all they have for the Galaxy Z Fold 7. And my final verdict for this phone is this phone was so close to being my daily driver. It was so close. It had everything for it, making it thin, making it lighter, making it faster, making the screens larger, making the cameras more better. But it stumbled on the biggest thing of all. I didn't care for the same battery. I could probably get through the same day usage as my S25 Ultra. But with this phone is just so close. This phone was so close. But unfortunately, it does not, have what I need to make my daily driver. I need the S Pen. That's all I need. One little thing, the S Pen. Yes, this phone could have benefited from a larger battery. This phone could have had an extra camera. This, could have faster charging speeds. Both wired and wireless. Those are some things Samsung could have done to make this phone stand out. But Samsung, I think, played it safe. And with it being so thin and so lightweight, and, just seeing how it folds and unfolds and how thin it is compared to its previous folds, it had everything all going for it. And again, I just love how the weight of this phone just almost vanishes in your pocket. I could talk about this all day long. But sadly, when I'm done filming this video, I'm going back to this phone right here. That's right, guys. I'm going back to switching out this SIM and putting it into here, because this is my daily driver. This is my ride. And the Galaxy S25 Ultra with the S Pen, the bigger battery, the cameras, again, same camera as on this, but the S Pen's what I need. This little puppy is all I need right here. I use it every day. The Z Fold 7, not having it, completely removing it from the outer screen, and they could have used it on the inner screen too, but on the Z Fold 7, not having Star support is a deal breaker to me. But let me know, guys, what you think in the comment section down below too. But before we get to that, I did promise you guys I'll tell you 3 things on how you could, 4 things, I just realized now, 4 ways of how you could save if you're planning on getting either this phone or this phone, the Z Fold 7. So the first way you could save is, of course, trading your phone in. If you have any other phone, whether it's an iPhone or a slightly older Android, if you trade it in and it's eligible, it's way better than paying $2,000 full price plus tax. So yeah, trading in your phone will save you some money there. But that's not the only tip I have. Number two is, if you go in the description down below and you enter in my code, that will give you 5% off your Samsung order. This works for, I believe, almost any Samsung product they have, if you use that code and you put it in where Samsung's telling you if there's any referral codes or discount codes, put that in and that'll apply 5% to your order. That'll give you some Samsung reward points. Most importantly, that'll give you the savings. And of course, number 3 is if your job has this, make sure you use their discount site. My job uses Perks at Work. That's how I get $40 to $50 off my order as well. So I didn't pay Samsung a full $2,000. I paid around maybe, like, I don't know, $1,300 or $1,130. I forgot the amount. But I paid Samsung far less than $2,000. That phone is just simply way too high of a price. And last but not least, if you know Samsung's gonna have an event, and they usually have 2 smartphone events. They have the Galaxy S event in January, and they have the Galaxy Z event in July, August. For those 2 months, if Samsung is dropping an event there, and you know I have it on my channel, make sure you guys reserve. That will save you some money too, because when you apply that reserve credit on top of your potential work discount, on top of your trade-in, and on top of using my code, that's a whole stack of money that you're going to be saving right there and taking off of Samsung's thing. But yeah, I thought I'd share that with you guys in case you guys are wondering how you can save on any Samsung purchase. Because again, you should not be paying Samsung a full $2,000 unless you absolutely have to. I want to help you guys save because I'm saving too. But yeah, I'm about to tell you guys that real quick. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you guys subscribe, click the bell for more videos like this. And leave a like, comment, share, and follow my social media for all the updates on my channel, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and catch you guys next video. Have a great day and stay safe. This is Tiger Chris signing off. Peace.